Hey people, um, this video is gonna be about self-harm and more so cutting than other things, but I've been thinking a lot about it lately, 'cause, if you know me, I've had some serious issues with cutting, and it started when I was 13, and a lot of people just look at someone who has scars or they'll see new cuts on someone and be like, it's just for attention, or they just want, they just want someone to pay attention to them, so they're being stupid. And I should probably apologize for my appearance right now. It's been a long day. A very, very long day. It was a very, very long day yesterday, too, and I just do not give a fuck right now. But I've just been doing a lot of thinking, so I wanted to make this. I never cut for attention. A lot of people don't. I mean, there are quite a few people, and sorry, it looked fucked up. Fucked up. Quite a few people that do, like, more so younger, like, because I guess some teenagers, sorry, the computer screen went black. Some teenagers, and not even just teenagers, but like if someone feels like someone's not paying attention to them, and you've been around it, and you're like, hey, this person cuts themselves, and look at all the fucking attention they get, and you go and do it just for attention. I mean, there are people that do that, but it really aggravates me that people assume that every single person that cuts does it for attention, because it's not true. I never once cut myself for attention. Like, what 13-year-old does that? And it was actually, it was before I was even, the first time I cut myself, I think I want to say 11 or 12, because it was when I lived with my dad, when I was like really, really young, not long after my parents' divorce. I guess it was just too much on me. So I started, and then I stopped, and then I dabbled back into it. And it was kind of just an on and off thing, it wasn't that bad. They were really just surface scratches at first. I don't even really know how I came about it. I mean, I know I didn't know what I was doing. I can't say like what most people say, like I saw it on a TV show and it looked like a good idea, and it really ended up helping. Because that's not how it was. I don't really remember or know how I came about it. I just did it and it made me feel better. So, that went on for a few years until I turned 15. And when I turned 15 is when, computer screen, is when it went, like, really bad. They got worse than just surface scratches. They got, sorry, I need to plug this in. They got worse than, just doing one or two at the same time. Like, it got really bad, and it wasn't okay. That's when I went to a hospital for the first time. I was living with my sister when I was 15. I, well, she saw my cuts. So she took me to the hospital to, crisis, That's what they call it, I guess. Well, I don't guess, I know, but. And, they were up here. I don't still have the scars because I don't know why up here just didn't scar. But, they sent me to Arbor Fuller. And I was there for 2 weeks. It didn't help. And the hospitals do help some people. But I will just straight up say it right now. Hospitals didn't help me, they made me worse. You know, being locked up in a building for 2 weeks isn't what I needed. I just needed someone to care. I didn't want to be alone in a room. I didn't want to talk to strangers. I just wanted the people that I knew to care about me. And that didn't happen. I got out. And maybe I made it like 2 more weeks without cutting. Sorry. But I started doing it again. And again. And again. And again. And, I want to say 2 months before I turned 16, I ended up back in the hospital. I went back to Arbor Fuller because I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. You know, cutting, it's just like doing drugs. You know, when you're addicted to something because it makes you feel better, um, just like fucking like heroin addicts or coke addicts, you don't get addicted because you like doing it. You get addicted to it because it makes you feel good. It makes you feel good about whatever. It makes you forget. And that's what cutting is for me, or was, or is, or whatever you want to say. Because once you're a cutter, you're always a cutter. It's a battle you're gonna struggle with for your entire life. You're never gonna forget about it, especially not if you have scars all over your body like I do. And I know that doesn't sound very inspirational, but it's the truth, and I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It fucking sucks. And it hurts mentally and physically, especially if you have other problems on top of it, like an eating disorder, or, like a drug addiction, or stuff like that. But anyways, back to the story. I got um, out the second time, and, I think I was living with my mom at this point. I still didn't stop. I couldn't stop. And I just remember one day, no, there was a time before that. I did it again. I was still doing it. I didn't want to stop. And my mom saw again. And but of course, back to the hospital, back to crisis, back to getting shipped off in another ambulance to another hospital. And it was some kind of youth center. I don't really remember what it was called, but I went there. And I think I was in this one for like 3 weeks. It was 3 weeks to a month I was in this one. Fucking sucked. And I still, I got out and I still didn't stop. I, you know, I didn't want to stop. I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And later on, when I was still 16, maybe a couple months before I turned 17, 6 months before I turned 17, I did it really bad. Like, worse than I ever did it before. Like, really, like, bad. and it was just, sorry if it's too gruesome, but it was just like wide open wounds, blood everywhere. Um, I used to use a razor blade. Like, I would take apart disposable razors and use the razor blades. Um, it was really shitty. And so I went back to another hospital. Um, I went to McLean's in the adolescent center because I was still only 16. And, you know, I kind of enjoyed myself there. All the other times I was in these places, I hated it. It was shitty. I didn't want to be locked up in these fucking rooms, in these fucking buildings, with these people that I've never met before telling me that what I'm doing is wrong and that it's really not making me feel better, that I'm just using excuses, and that's not what I'm doing. It's like I cut myself because of people like you, because of people who treat me like I'm fucking psycho. Like, when you want someone to stop cutting, you can't treat them like they're crazy. You need to treat someone that cuts just like they're a drug addict. Like, I mean, like a fucking rehab, not lock them up and stare at them constantly to make sure they're not cutting themselves. Like, you have to let these people make their own decision. And I still don't want to stop. But I was in there for a few weeks. Oh my god. They closed up all the cuts I did. Um, I got out. And, I stopped for, a few months. Until the month before I turned 17. But I was doing good, and, you know, I was proud of myself. Because while I was there, you know, they actually made sense at this place. They never tried to tell me I was crazy. Or they never tried to say I was wrong. They just kind of tried to explain that there were other ways. They tried to teach me how to cope. And I guess it kind of helped. Because I stopped for a couple months. And I was really proud. And then September 2012 came around. The last year. Like, September came around. And I don't remember what happened. I was really pissed off. And I was really fucking upset. And I remember getting into a huge fight with someone, and I honestly, for the life of me, cannot even remember why I did it. I just went to the bathroom, and I lost it. I lost my streak, and it sucked. And, I don't, want to, like, it's not easy. I still think about it every single day. And that's just, hold on 1 second. My apologies, my computer's dying, so I have to plug this in. So just stare at my window for a second. There we go. So, like, I'm not gonna get into recently. I'm not gonna sit here and say when the last time I cut was. But what I will tell you is that I think about it every single day. Constantly. And that's the one thing that no one understands besides the people that feel the same way as me, that do think about it 24/7. If you're not a cutter, a serious one, then you don't understand because it's an addiction. It's not just a feel better thing, it is an addiction. And when I say I don't stop thinking about it, I do not stop thinking about it. No matter what I'm doing. Sometimes it's a lot less than other times. Like if I'm hanging out with someone and I'm laughing and having a good time, I'm not necessarily thinking about slitting my wrists or that's how people that don't understand would put it anyways. Because if you understood, you would know that cutters don't only cut on their arms. They don't only cut right here. It's, it's everywhere. And we don't walk around trying to show it off. Like, if anything, we don't want people to know. I'm just doing this. Because, like I said, I've been thinking a lot lately. And kind of hoping my story gets, at least one person to know that someone else goes through what they're going through or what they went through. Because I know I feel alone. And I know that I feel like no one gives a shit. And if I can, like, reach out with this and help someone else know that they're not alone and that they're not the only person that feels like this. Like, if you're watching this and you completely relate to me, you're not alone because I feel your pain. I feel how you feel. And I know that even right now, just sitting there, you want to do it. Because I do too. But, I know it's dangerous. You know it's dangerous. Everyone knows it's dangerous. You always hear it. One wrong cut and you're dead. And whenever anyone says that, I'm just like, good. And I know I shouldn't say that. No one should say that. No one should want to die. But, when you feel like I do, after you've been through everything that I've been through and people like me have been through, and the reason we do this and the reason we're addicted to this, it's not easy to stop. It's not. And I've probably, like, stopped in the middle of so many sentences because there's just so much to say and not enough ways to say it all. So it's probably all coming out as this big, like, blur of words that mean nothing to anyone except for the people that understand. I just wanted to make it very, very clear, very, very clear that when you first start cutting, it is a choice. It is a choice you are making, just like the first time you smoke pot. It is a choice that you are making. The first time you fucking snort coke or shoot up heroin, that is a choice you are making. But once you start, it turns into an addiction, and it's not a choice anymore. If I could choose to get rid of the scars all over me, I would. If I could choose to go back in time and not start cutting myself, I would. But it's not a choice anymore. If I could choose to go 3 hours without having one single thought about cutting, I would choose it in a heartbeat. But I can't. And that's what people don't get. Like, it's an addiction. You can't just send someone to a hospital for 2 weeks and then be like, they're good. Because they're not. It's not how it works. But yeah, I guess that's it. Just wanted to make it clear that after you really get into it, it's an addiction. And I'm sure any other person who feels like I do will tell you the same thing. But if they could stop thinking about it, or stop doing it, or just stop in general, if we could just forget that cutting ever even existed, or even exists at all, we would. But we can't. Whether you're still doing it or not, whether you're cutting yourself every night, or whether you haven't cut yourself in 5 years and you just still constantly think about it, it's just always going to be there. And it's a struggle. It's a serious struggle. And people who don't understand don't help because they think it's a lot less than it actually is. Guess that's really all I wanted to say. I know this is really long, but if you stuck it out till the end of this, you're a trooper. And I really hope you understood what I was trying to get at, and that just that you kind of got it. Or if you're one of those people that feel like me, I hope I made you feel like you're not alone, and you can contact me whenever you want if you need someone to talk to. If you feel like you're ready to die or you're having urges to cut, you can come to me and you can talk to me. Um, I will always be here for you because I know how you feel. I might not know exactly what you've been through, but I know what I've been through, and I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. I guess if you want to subscribe and stuff, they're probably gonna be more videos like this where I just kind of sit here and talk. I mean, I already have videos where I sit there and talk. That's all I do in my videos. But there are gonna be more videos about, really serious issues like this. And I don't know, I guess if you want to see those. I don't know. I just I'm gonna end this now because now I'm just kind of rambling because I never know what to say at the end of my videos, and I just sit there and say a lot and then say random things about other videos, and yeah, so I'm just gonna wave and say goodbye now.